Hi and welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about the top 3 reasons why a CIC will massively boost your career. But before I jump into that, please hit the subscribe button and jump over to my website and check out my course, How to Set Up a CIC and Get Funded in 4 Months. You can also book a video call with me if you would like to know more. So that aside, let's get into it. So this video, I want to talk about how amazing a CIC is for your career. Now, you don't need to have a degree. You don't need to have certain qualifications. You may never have even worked before. You might be somebody who has been long-term unemployed and have had a certain life experience that's given you an idea to start a CIC. And I know people like that, and their CICs are amazing. So anybody can start a CIC. You could be a student fresh out of university, or you could be somebody who thought, you know what, I'm not going to go to university, I'm going to start a CIC instead. And I think actually it would be far better for you and your career if you ran a CIC or did Arts Council funded projects, for example, rather than went and did a business or arts degree. This would actually be far more beneficial. Let me tell you why. So reason 1 is you are inventing your own job. You're inventing your own title. You could literally call yourself whatever you want. Because you could call yourself a project manager, you could call yourself an expert, a specialist. There's no criteria for it. So for instance, since I have had a CIC, I've been a whole bunch of things. I've been an artist, and I never did any kind of arts in university or college before. So I am an artist. Recently I've been doing heritage and history projects. So now I'm a historian. I'm a writer. And I've got dyslexia. I mean, I failed a lot of stuff in school. I mean, I didn't fail, but like, you know, I didn't get great grades in things because I really struggled and they didn't recognise I had dyslexia. But now here I am, I'm actually a published author. I've done exhibitions, I've done presentations, and I'm now a specialist in certain fields because I invented a job for myself. I invented a project. I just went out there and said, this is what I do, this is what I'm doing. So this is, the scope for it is literally infinity. There's no limits to it. So you could just do whatever you want. You can come up with whatever you want. If you don't have a specialism that you need to run a project, you can always hire that person in. So say you're not confident as an artist, but you want to run an arts project and curate an exhibition, but you're not actually any good at art. Then you create an exhibition and you hire artists in and pay them to do the artwork. And then, hey presto, you're a gallery curator. So this is an example of how you can just literally invent your own thing. So number 2 is wages. So you, instead of waiting around for that promotion or to get that better paid job, you could literally just start a CIC and suddenly, boom, you're a project manager, so that boosts your pay right up. As I said a lot of times on this channel, I started as a probation officer. I left being a probation officer on £30,000, and now I get between around £70,000 in grant funding, and then I get up to about 100 altogether. So if you think that's like triple what I was on, so I've tripled my wage. So, you know, how would I have ever achieved that when I was a probation officer? The most I could have done was become a senior manager. And, you know, who really wants to do that? And even then, like, they're not paid, well, unless you get really high up. You know, the pay isn't that amazing. And considering you've got to work 9 to 5 and probably more hours and everything you've got to do, whereas now I work part-time hours for triple the money. I can take holidays whenever I want. I can travel for 6 months if I want and run projects for 6 months. So it's completely life-changing, and having extra money obviously means you have more opportunities. Number 3, you become a sought-after expert. So because you are doing something probably quite unique, you've come up with some unique ideas. You might be writing a book on something, you might be doing an exhibition on something, you are becoming an expert in running a certain type of workshop in the community with people. You've started like a cause or something. Maybe you're working with the homeless. Maybe you're working with disabled children. Suddenly you, and because you're director and the founder and the project manager of this CIC that you've created in whatever this topic is, you've then become quite a sought after person. So I now get approached, because I've been doing this for so long, I get approached to do talks, I get approached by the media, I get approached by schools. I've had my last two books that I made as part of my heritage project, two small history books, I've just asked, they've been asked for those to be published. So all these opportunities have come up, and it's because I got out there and designed my own projects, and I've now become an expert in whatever field it is I'm doing. I've become a little bit of a creative octopus, a term one of my students used recently. I thought, what a great term. So a creative octopus is basically, when you're a CIC, you can just do little bits of this and that. So I could get Arts Council funding, heritage funding. I could literally be doing various different projects because I'm a very creative person. So that means that over time, you kind of become a little bit of an expert in different things. Now, I do feel passionate that what is amazing about CICs and everything I've just talked about is it is literally a poverty buster. If you are from a low social economic background, or maybe you're from a marginalised group in society that have more difficulty getting jobs, and maybe you don't like the way you're talked to or the way people treat you in professions and in that professional world, and actually you want to be free of all that. By running your own CIC, you're free of that. You can do what you want. You don't have to worry about how people are going to be talking to you, like managers and people like that. And I think if you, and also from the perspective of being a woman, and I know I work with a lot of people from ethnic minority backgrounds of my students who say the same, that, we've come from backgrounds that we didn't think this kind of thing was possible. This wasn't presented to us. No one taught us in school that you could start a CIC, invent your own career. We're literally going against the grain of what the education system teaches us. So it's an incredible opportunity when you are from a disadvantaged point of view, to be able to just literally jump the ladder like that, do it yourself, because we're not reliant on the traditional structures in society to give us the opportunity. We're just going out there and taking it and inventing it ourselves. So I think this is a great poverty buster. I think it's fantastic for people from any point of disadvantage. And also just in terms of the work-life balance of it, because say you're a struggling mum or you've got a disability or whatever your needs are, you can design your own time around, you can design the projects around the time you need. So that's really important as well for people who want to spend more time with their families or need more time to look after themselves health-wise. So I hope that's been inspirational for those of you who are thinking of starting a CIC. And if you've already got a CIC, just remember to don't get too overwhelmed with thinking of ideas, but do queue up a few projects that you're going to do over the next few years, and just think about, how could I really leverage myself into being an expert and getting known for something? Because that will bring in other income and that will help you become more sustainable, so you're not just reliant on grant funding. So I hope this helps, and again, jump over to my website, jump in the chat, ask me any questions, or book a video call with me.